Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shadowscape. Based on a comment from a few videos ago, I've made the view larger here of the map. I do agree it was a tad small and I missed that detail for quite a few episodes. So I do apologize. And now we're back to just a full view here. And to the left will be the location of where the events are happening. Now, as my YouTube poll has shown you guys wanted me to use Savage Worlds. This is the edition of Savage Worlds that I prefer and will be using. I'm a novice, pun intended, of this game, so I will get things wrong. I may approach this as a modular uh, game, meaning I won't include or use all the rules, but I'm definitely fascinated, and it's about time I try Savage Worlds. So, I'm definitely not a fan of any character sheets I found online of Savage Worlds, even not the Suede one, which is the Adventure Edition, the current version of Savage Worlds. This is the character sheet in the back of this Deluxe Explorers Edition. It's okay, just not printer friendly, so I couldn't really find anything online regarding that. There's a lot of community-made ones, but still nothing really up to par, at least what I want. So I just use these little yellow sheets for each character. Because we're switching engines here, they've all been rebooted back down to fresh level 1, or as this game calls it, novice. So no experience points. This will be an experiment with Savage Worlds. So I have Wolf here. He's been converted to Savage Worlds. These are all the skills. You can freeze this image here if you want to take a quick peek. And then that's his current gear list. Then we have Rayla. You can take a pick here if you want. That's her. Same elf female character. This is her gear list. Okay, and then we have, last but not least, Scarlax. After we had Sarv leave the team. That's his list. There is no wounds. We have the usual 3. Because this is solo play, I was thinking about upping that to 4 or 5, but we'll see. Right now I have it on the basic 3. So this being my first real time playing Savage Worlds, I think on camera, I will be doing playing it, following the rules to the best of my ability, not really using all the rules per se. So our party left off in Shadowscape. We're still right here, as you can see to the left of your view, which is W13. It's roughly 4 p.m. mid-afternoon, and we got the award money, the award gold for completing, or I should say we just got paid for what we did for our task completed. We are Team Wolf, as the king calls us, and we're awaiting our next mission. Because the king is currently discussing matters with his team of elders or his council regarding some potential war shenanigans happening in the land. Now, we weren't able to roll good enough to for Rayla to notice the very specific details of the war map that he had in front of him at his desk, but she did notice that they were generic tokens being used for military positioning throughout the land of Shadowscape. So that is a potential theme, or I should say, a narrative setting that we could be approaching in the future, where there's a big uh, big war going to break out between Shadowscape and some other undiscovered location, because it's definitely not going to be Haxbury against Shadowscape. It's going to be some other location, perhaps around here, I'm thinking. But basically, Shadowscape is going to war, and that's all I'm going to say, with another rivaling nation. Now, maybe it's a land dispute. It could be something happening in this fog of war. It could be personal matters. Maybe something happened between the King Roland. Let's see, what's his name? King Royland. Maybe he had a betrayal. Something happened with him or his family with another nation, so he's declaring an offensive attack. on that said rivalry nation. Maybe it's to conquer land or to dominate more of the Deadlands, or perhaps more of the Grove Range, as I put this little label here. There's also the this Eastern Sea that I've called it, just to kind of label this section of the map. But our team is more focused on the here and now and more of an isolated approach to their work. They are not worried about the political or the bureaucratic BS that could be coming from the top down. They just want to do the jobs and get paid for it. Specifically, Rayla. She loves money. She loves the gold, I should say. Let's go over the hindrances. So I try to stay in character with acquiring these hindrances and edges if possible. But basically, Wolf is arrogant. That's a major hindrance. He's loyal. He has a fear of crows. I thought that might be interesting. This gave us two edges of alertness and brave. Rayla, all thumbs, meaning she's not the best with machinery, so she has a -2 on repair test, if that is even qualifying for this setting. Sorry, I didn't notice I was on camera there. She's cautious, and then she's greedy. So this accumulated one edge quick initiative, so that redraw a card if it's a 5 or less. That's if I do combat with the deck of cards, which I do have a deck of cards off to my right here. But I'm going to try combat if we encounter it in this episode narratively, meaning I'm going to do step by step on what happens as if we're watching a scene in a scene in the movie. Then for Garlax, he has two hindrances. I didn't choose a major one, I just couldn't really find one for him. But he's an outsider, which really does qualify for Shadowscape, and then he's vengeful, which could happen in the near future. So let's just say our team is waiting patiently downstairs in the foyer, and eventually Scroll does come back downstairs with a parchment, a piece of paper in his hand, and he hands it to Wolf. This parchment details, as Scroll explains, details the king's next wishes of what he wants Team Wolf to accomplish upcoming. So I'm going to write this down here. Actually, let's just turn to a new page. We're still, as I like to keep track of where we are, W13 Shadowscape. I'm going to say it's 4:30 now in the mid-afternoon. So W13 Shadowscape. You guys can't really see it, but again, it's not too important for your eyes. It's just more for me to keep track of things. But I will say what I'm writing. Basically, Scroll brings mission details. I should say task or quest details. And as I'm writing that down, I'm thinking what it could be without really drawing a card or using an oracle. But thinking of what we were saying earlier, I want to make this next quest relevant, maybe inadvertently relevant to this war that could break out. So, Team Wolf is not aware of it entirely. Rayla kept it to herself. She's not exactly spilling the beans that there is going to be a full-on war, but she knows something is something is baking in the oven at the moment, and it could be a potential problem. So, but she's not necessarily telling the team yet for some reason. But Scroll gives this document. It is a map, and the location, of course, she gives it to Wolf because Wolf is the leader. So I will say this is a star item. Oh, whoops, that's skills, and I'm still getting used to even my own homebrew character sheet. But basically a quest map. I'll put a little star here. That details a location, and how to get there of the next point of interest, which is on this map. And they have to get to this place, not necessarily, they have to get to this place without letting the location know that they are working for the king of Shadowscape. They have to be travelers, maintaining their identity, maintaining their task on the down low, strictly going there to retrieve something and to bring it back, which has been the past handful of quests, well, on camera, one or two, for the king. But that could be the quest. However, let's make this interesting. Let's ask the Oracle if this is a simple retrieval quest. Blue, yes, red, no. I actually want to say it's not. I have an idea what it could be if it's a not. Okay, it's not. So this quest is going to be the team, the party, going to this location and destroying something. Not someone, but something. If it was a higher roll, it might have been someone, but not necessarily um, to murder someone, but they need to go to a location to destroy something. So I'll write down here quest, uh, go to location, destroy item. Now, this location, let's see. So there's 26, we have 26 horizontally and vertically. What I'll do is roll a d20, or let's say a d10. I want it to be in this region. So let's do d10 here. 4, okay. Okay, so this will be in this area. Let's say it's G4 right here. So this will be our sixth location track. And this will be the other competing kingdom or city in this region in Exeter. Now, Shadowscape has this grip, this hold on maybe half of this map, while this competing territory has the other maybe third. I'd say Shadowscape probably has more land in its own, righteous hold compared to the other nation. So the other nation will be called. Let's think of a name. Uh, grave. Think of G based on the G we rolled. So let's say. Okay, I got a name. Let's erase this old text here because it's getting a little confusing. Gravenhold. So this is a city, not necessarily a kingdom, but it's definitely a city. And the map shows to go there. It shows the route. Just taking a note here for myself. Shows the route to Gravenhold. And Scroll says the king wants this done again discreetly. And he looks at Rayla, noticing that this could be her specialty. So, trying to think of how Scroll is divulging this information voluntarily to. I'm basically trying to think of the context of what the item is, where it's going to be, who has it, and why it needs to be destroyed. Perhaps that can be details we can unfold as we get closer, because the real trek here or I should say, the real challenge here is the trek all the way up, even probably through the Deadlands, or maybe they're going to avoid the Deadlands and find another route through Haxbury. Maybe there's another route that goes. Most likely, there's a connection point between Haxbury and Gravenhold. So, as the game master and the world builder, I'm going to say there is. So there is a route straight to Gravenhold, and this is how the map looks to the team. Obviously, there's all the territorial um, location names, geography as it's drawn, but to our eyes, it's still going to be discovered as we travel. So we'll have to go all the way through the route we came, and then we'll have to go to Haxbury, make a left, and we'll be on our way to Ravenhold. Now, the issue here, like I said, it's why is this thing? What is it? What's the reasoning for it? We can uncover that impromptu as we get there. I don't want to waste too much time on it, but basically we have the map where to go to Gravenhold. Now, the wolf says, okay, perhaps where can we find this item? What is it? At least let's get the details of what this item is. So this will be definitely 3 stars worth because it's a quest task. And the quest item to destroy will be, let's say, let me look at this fantasy companion that I've found for Savage Worlds and go to the equipment or gear list just to get an idea, because I just can't think of anything on the top of my head. What if it's an artifact, actually? Not just a simple item, but an artifact that we need to destroy. What it looks like. I'm thinking, let's see, artifact. Maybe it's a pearl for now. Let's say it's a pearl. And it's already coming to me what it could be, but perhaps it's a enchanted pearl that has some kind of spell that's causing problems for our king. Okay, I'll leave it at that. It's an artifact, it's a pearl. Specifically, it's a pearl. Okay, Wolf is like, all right, who has the pearl? So I'll write down who has the pearl. And let's say it's a gentleman or it's a lady, human female named Tila. Tila. No, Tila. Tela. Okay. That's going to be their quest. All right, so they have to go to Gravenhold, find where this Tila lives, destroy her artifact, the pearl, for some reason the king will eventually, or we will eventually discover. Okay. Now let's see if we have any skills that we can attempt here while we're talking to Scroll. Trying to see who would have any investigation. Rayla has investigation, which could be interesting. Let's do our first roll with this game, with Savage Worlds. Okay, so her investigation's a D4. All right, we might use an Oracle if we ace any of these rolls. But target number is 4. Wild die is a D6. So we'll roll. Her investigation's a D4. We're rolling for a 4. And, oh, the D4 explodes. Aces. So that is a success. Oh, explodes again. Okay, so let me write this down. We have 1 success and then a raise. So S1. We have an 8 now. So raises. We have 1. So that's let's see, 8. Oh my gosh, that's 2. Jeez. All right, we're rolling again. Shoot, lost my dice on the ground. Our fingers. Okay. 2. Okay, so that is going to be 4, 4, 8. That's 2 raises. All right. So 1 success, 2 raises. I think I got that right. So the wild die failed, but because of that, she investigated this task, and I'm going to now use an oracle because this is going to be troublesome or difficult to really just think of on the spot. What are some things she discovered by what Scroll said? So audibly, visually, the map of the paper. Let's see, and maybe some experience. 76. That's going to be NPC. Okay, and then 85. Ruined. Ah, okay. NPC ruined. One more word, or one more descriptor. 39. Enemies. Ooh, okay. Ah, okay. So this is interesting because Rayla knows this person. She knows who Tayla is. Tayla. And because of that, this NPC is Tayla, ruined. She used to be friends or acquaintances with Tayla, but it got ruined, and now they are enemies. All right, so Rayla has a personal compromising factor in this quest. She knows Tayla from a long ago, perhaps, and now they're enemies. Maybe used to be friends. Something. This is very, very interesting. Okay, used to be friends. All right, good. I think that's good for now. Only one. We only did one trait roll, but I have to go. I might do an episode a little later. Got some personal matters to take care of, but I hope you guys enjoyed. At least I'm getting my feet wet with Savage Worlds. Of course, if I did it right, or maybe I should have used the tray for um, more interactivity with the dice rolling. Let's see how it would have done with the tray, because I keep forgetting to use a tray at times. Let's see. Three. Yeah, so the wild die would have been just a standard success. There's the ace that we rolled originally. Luck of the roll, I think, wherever my other D4 is. I just don't see it anywhere. But there it is. Yeah, so because yeah, I will use this next time. I just completely spaced on it. It's thrown on the something I just used to throwing it on the document on the desk here. So otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I will hope you enjoyed. And I love this little detail reveal that she knows Rayla knows Taylor, Rayla Taylor, um, and they are used to be friends, but now more enemies. So this whole thing just is a personal matter now. And the question is, does she tell the team based on her? Well, let's look at her hindrances. She's cautious. So I don't think she's going. Um, if she's cautious, does that stop her from telling or even meant based on past role playing with Rayla? I think she's very to herself. She doesn't like to divulge too much information about her personally. Let's see if she does. Does she? Let's put two no's in this one. Does she mention this to at least Wolf? I don't think she'll mention the scroll. She doesn't want to compromise the mission in their eye, but let's see. Nope, she doesn't. Okay, so she doesn't even tell the team. I'll write that down. She doesn't tell the team. And I do like how I'm going about this because I had just this one quest. There's no subplots on the side besides this reveal that could be tangled into our quest. So that's going to be it for now. I'll see you guys probably very soon. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you next one.